Hey friends, welcome back. Now we are going to continue our MERN stack series. This is our e-commerce project. In the last video, we have added a model so we can delete we can edit the categories, right? So here it is. Here we have edit categories, and whatever we will check that will come over here, and then we can make our changes, right? So for example, in this case, cat1, if I will make a change on the sub cat2 edit, you are going to have expanded as well as checked categories. Let's make the update, and you'll see the save changes, and you can see the change is over here, right? So it worked, and you can also refresh and confirm it, and you can see it is 1 2. So you can also switch the categories if you want. This subcat 1 2 needs to be the part of home and furniture. You just need to go, you need to check subcat 1 2, you need to go to the edit. This is a subcat 1 2, and I want to change the parent, so I want home and furniture will be the parent of this subcat 1 2, and you can make changes, like just do the save changes, and yes, it worked. And here you can see the home and furniture, and you can see subcat 1 2 now switched from cat1 to the home and furniture. So this is how we can switch the categories from from one categories to another categories. Now in this video we are going to see how we can delete categories, and this is kind of a little bit of issue with this library because it is giving information in two different ways. Like one is expanded, one is checked. So whenever you're trying to delete some children categories, then you also need to expand the parents, and then somehow you may end up deleting all of the categories, right? So yeah, that's an issue we will figure out. And if you already worked with such kind of scenarios and these kinds of nested categories, you can let me know in the comment section some better library if you have an idea about it. Okay, so now let's quickly start working on the deleting of the categories. Whenever we will check a categories or whatever it is expanded, we are able to delete that categories. Okay, so let's go and code. Here we have our category.index.js file, and we have a couple of functions over here. So first thing, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to add a model, right? So I can give a warning to the user like what he's going to delete. So if by mistake if he choose anything wrong, then he can correct his mistakes, right? So that's very important in case of delete operation, right? So okay, let's start with something model like const render delete. It is like yes no option, like you have two options. You either want to delete yes or press no, right? So render delete category model, right? And this is going to be an interesting model. You're going to learn something amazing in this model, right? So here we are going to return something as usual. So return will say over here it is a model, right? Model, and in this model we are going to have a few properties, like one is model title. Okay, model title, you can say confirm. So you're asking user, are you sure you want to delete it? Confirm. And in the model title, one is confirm. Next we are going to have like some flag to like show disable or not. For that we are going to create a state. So we'll say over here, and here we'll create some flags. So we'll say const, and we'll say delete category model, set delete category model, use state, and it is going to be false, the first condition. And let's copy this delete category model. Let's go to the return statement where it is. Okay, so here we are writing, let's take it down so we can find easily, right? We have so much code over here. So we are gonna say over here, and here we're gonna say, let's say model delete category model. So that is going to be true or false. If it is true, then model will pop up. False, then model will be disabled. Handle close for now. We are just adding handle close, and here we're going to set the model, like set delete category model. That is going to be false, so it will disable, right? And next we'll say, are you sure? And below we are going to have two buttons, right? We'll make it perfect in a perfect way. So here, are you sure? That's just first render it, it's working or not. So let's render it. And here we're going to say render delete category model. And here we have render delete category model, right? And when it is going to trigger. Okay, the thing is when we will press this delete button, then only it is going to trigger, right? So let's go to the return statement, and here we have okay, where is the, so here we have two buttons, one is for delete, one is for edit, right? So we'll add something like on click, and here we're going to say render, sorry, it is going to be a different function, right? So it is going to be for now you can simply say set delete category model, that is going to be true, right? Let's see it's working or not first. Okay, come over here and wait for the moment, and something wrong happened. Let's go inspect the browser, check it out, reload the application. Okay, looks fine. I don't know what was that. So let's click on delete, and you can see we have, are you sure you want to delete something, right? And save changes gonna close the model, right? Okay, so let's write the function. It is working well. So let's write a new function. We are going to handle so many things over here. So let's cut it over here and write let me suggest some better name in the comment section, right? So here I'm going to write delete category function, right? So it's delete category function, and here we are going to say let's say before the model, right? Let's say const the delete category, and here we're going to say set delete category model, that is going to be true. Okay, save, and it is going to work same. So delete and save changes working, right? Now we also want to show the data over here, but before that we want to add a buttons, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new property buttons, and here it is going to be an array, right? So I'm going to create buttons for now. You can create multiple buttons, right? The way I'm showing you, you can create multiple buttons. Okay, so here I can say so this is going to be an object first, and you can also install some libraries, and you're going to see the same how I'm going to do it now. So that is completely manual. It is going to be helpful for your learning purpose, right? Next we'll say label. So name of the button is it is going to be no, and we'll say the color of the button or variant, whatever it is. So color it is going to be like primary color, and next it is going to be on click function, on click, and this is going to be an arrow function. And just for now we'll say simply alert over here, no, right? Alert no, and that's it, alert no. Okay, this is one function. Let's copy this again, paste over here, and here we're gonna say yes, and instead of primary it is going to be danger, right? It's a bootstrap class primary. I'm writing over here. We'll say yes. So yes button is clicked over here, and this is the property buttons. So let's copy this name and let's go to your model. Okay, where is the model? Components and UI and model and index.js. So here we have model footer, and here we are going to show yes and no button, right? So inside this we have a save changes button already, and we are first going to check what is the situation. It is a confirm model or it is some normal model, right? So we'll simply say props dot buttons, right? We'll first check button exists or not, and props dot buttons. If button exists, then obviously we can check, we can render through it. So we'll say props dot buttons dot map function btn, and we are going to return a button, right? So we'll say copy and paste over here, right? And just refactor things, just format the items. Instead of save changes, I'm gonna say btn dot label, and instead of props dot handle click handle close, here I'm going to say btn dot on click. So this is what we are going to call, right? btn dot on click. Also this is going to be a loop, right? So we need to provide a key also. Key for that I'm going to use index, and let's add index with the map function. We can have two arguments over here. One is the value, another one is the index. We'll say index, and okay, so this is props dot buttons, and instead of using and ampersand operator, use a ternary operator, so we can also display the default situation. So default situation, in default we are going to get the save changes button, right? Okay, and now let's see the effect. Is it working or not? So hopefully it is reloaded, and let's get it down, and let's click on the delete button, and you can see we have two different buttons, no and yes. You can add multiple buttons like that. So we have no and yes. Let's change the color also, because we have added some color, right? So here instead of primary, I'm gonna say btn dot color, so it is automatically like danger or primary. So reload, and you see delete, and you're gonna see yes and no. Let's click on the button yes, and you're gonna see the alert. Yes, it is working. No and no alert is also working, right? So yep, it is working. And now let's go to the again your main file, page level file. So here we don't need any more this handle close, or you can keep it, because this is also over here on the close button, right? So do we have a close button also on props handle close, right? Close button. Okay, whatever, it is fine. Okay, let's go and a category. So this is button is ready. Also here, instead of showing are you sure, we are going to show what user or admin is going to delete, so he will be aware of that instead of deleting something wrong. Okay, so here we'll say h6 or maybe h5, and we'll say expanded, and here we are going to say checked. So we have, okay, first let's see what we have, because that thing, I guess we don't have things over here. We'll do console dot log, and let's see delete comma, we'll say checked array, and now let's close it. Let's go and reload the application, and you can see I'm gonna check this subcat1, and let's try to delete, and you can find something that is going to be triggered so many times because of re-rendering of the state. That is not an issue. Okay, so it's an empty actually, and that is because we are checking over here, and this value is getting managed in the checked array. That is only the list of id string, right? So for how to handle that, right? So in case of edit, what we have done, just find out. So in case of this is the update categories form, and we are handling the input of the update categories, and here we are handling the state values, right? So here we are doing set update category model true, so it will show the model first, and then it will make the state available. It will make the things available, right? So instead of doing this over here, let's copy this and create a new function, so it will be a reusable thing, right? We'll say const, and we'll say update update checked and expanded categories. Okay, update checked and expanded categories, right? And let's paste over here. So that is all same categories we have, array and everything is like over here. And let's remove this also, because that's a console, and let's copy this, and when we are going to make things true, like when we are going to show the update model, before showing that model, we are going to make the state available. We are going to make the things available, right? So this is how we are going to make it. Let's copy this again, and let's go to your delete function, right? So here we are no, that's the category again. add model, delete category. So here we are making things true. Let's call it over here and save and let it reload. Okay, so here this delete is right now empty, and let's clear the console and now let's make a check. Okay, so these two are checked, and let's clear the console again or press on the delete, and we have got something over here, right? So this is 2 times render, and because we have updated state, first in case of checked array and second in case of expanded array, so that's totally normal. You don't need to worry about why it is printing 2 times. That's because of change in state. Okay, just to make sure it is not going in the infinite loop, right? And here we have subcat12, that is the checked one, and that is a checked one, right? We are only printing the checked one, subcat12, right? That you can confirm over here. That's a checked array. So let's remove this, and okay, just see one more time. We have name, we have parent ID, we have value, right? So here we have expanded, and here we can say checked array dot map, and say item or item index, that is better, item comma index, and here we're going to say span. In the span I'm going to say a first key is required, right? Index, and within a span I'm going to say item dot name, right? And you can just take it in one line. Okay, let's save and let's see. Okay, let's reload. Clean the console, checked. Let's check this cat, check this one. Okay, delete, and you can see the expanded, the subcat1 to expanded, and that is expanded, right? And I have written checked array over here, so let's make it expanded array. Clear the console. Let's make a check. Let's make a check over here and delete, and you can see the home and furniture got expanded, right? Next thing, what we're gonna do, we're gonna use h5 again, and we'll see the checked categories, or whatever you want feel better, you can write over there. So let's copy this one. This is just for show purpose, like just to make user aware of like what he's trying to delete. Instead of expanded, we are going to write over here checked. Okay, and let's reload the application and let's make a check, and you can see delete, and you can see home and furniture is expanded and subcat1 to expanded. And so when you press yes, it means you're going to delete home and furniture. It means there is subcat1 to deleting subcat1 to is meaningless. If you delete the parent, then the children is useless. Without parent, children is like helpless. Okay, so if you're trying to delete parent, just to be aware, you are going to lose all the childrens of the parent. Okay, so that's why I have written this confirm model, just to make sure you're gonna do the right things, right? And let's go over here, and where is our yes button, right? So this is our yes button, and here instead of alert, I'm gonna write a function. Okay, so we'll say delete categories, or we'll say the form, not form, delete categories. Okay, let's save this, delete categories, copy, and now let's create the function to delete the categories, and here we're going to say what we have checked and we have expanded arrays. So we'll say checked array dot, we'll use a map function, and here we're going to say item comma index, right? And map function is faster than for each. You can if you want, you can use for each also, that is totally fine. And here I'm going to give return an object. So here I'm going to say underscore id, that is item dot value. So if you want to check, you can check in the loop right now. not the profiler, console, and okay, that is failed compiled, that is because of the error. And okay, that is over here, and here you're gonna get const checked id array. Okay, now let's copy this function, and here we can, instead of checked, we're gonna say expanded id array, expanded id. To delete the categories, we just need id, right? We don't need anything else. We don't need name, we don't need parent or anything. We just need id to delete something. Okay, so here we're gonna say expanded id array, and this is also going to be expanded id array. So this is going to be an array, checked id array and expanded id array, or better give it an s so it will indicate some multiple items. So checked IDs array, expanded ID array, right? Next we are going to create a new array, IDs array, and here we're going to say expanded IDs array dot concat. Just merge the two arrays so it will be a single array instead of two arrays, right? Expanded IDs array, and here we're going to say checked IDs array, right? And then we'll have the data in IDs array. So this is an array, and previously I have used form, right, to create the categories, to update the categories. I have used form, and the reason is I wanted to update image also. That's the only reason I have used form. But this time, to delete the categories, I don't need to use a form to create the arrays of IDs to delete the items, because we are not going, this is nothing related to the image. You just need an ID and you can delete the item, right? So there I'm gonna say dispatch, and we need to write a action to delete the items. And let's stay over here for a while. Okay, let's go to the category action, and here we have update categories. Let's copy this. And I also forgot in the last video to add the constants, right, for the update categories. So we'll do that. Let's first finish this. So we're going to delete categories, right? So we'll say delete categories, and instead of form we're going to say IDs. Okay, so that is an array, IDs, and over here we're going to say delete category / delete, and no form. It is going to be an object and request payload. So we'll create the payload that is going to be an IDs, right? So we'll say over here IDs, right? We'll say just IDs. So that is going to be a payload and array. Let's save this, and let's just remove this for now, and we'll simply do the console.log, and we'll say res. So we can see the response, and then we can change things, okay, based on that. So here we have IDs and delete categories. Now let's import this function, this action in the page file, right? So here also we have delete categories. So if you use the same name, it is going to be a recursive call, right? So instead of using same name, I'm going to get this. Let's make it look better. So you can do over here, and let's add your action first. We'll say delete categories as action. You can suffix with that and say delete action, and delete categories action. That is better. You can rename it basically, delete categories action. Okay, delete categories action. Let's copy this, and where is our delete categories? So you can use Control F to find your function, right? So delete categories, and let's paste over here, and here you can write IDs array. Let's save this. So this is a dispatch action. Here we have IDs array. Okay, let's save this, and now let's write the controller or the backend part, right? So you can go to the controller, and this is our admin application. Everything is on the same place, right? So here we have update categories. Here we are going to create a new controller, that is exports dot delete categories. So this is our controller. We'll say request comma response. Okay, delete categories request response, and here we are going to have let's first return the response, right? Response res.status 200.json. So we can visualize the things like what kind of data we are getting, right? So we'll say simply a body, and over here we'll say request dot body, right? Now let's also map this controller with the router. So let's go to the routes and let's go to the index category.chase, and now let's copy or paste whatever, and here in post is fine. Here we're gonna say delete, and we don't need this middleware for the images, right? And here we have, right now we don't have any kind of restriction. Anyone can delete it right now because we are not adding the check for that, like require sign in or admin middleware, right? So just make sure if things will work, we'll soon add in the next video probably. Okay, so update categories, no, it is going to be a delete categories, right? Let's say delete categories, update delete categories, that is fine. Now let's go and check it is working or not. So let's clean the console and let's check this item delete. So we have checked one item, that is cat1, and press the yes button, and you can see we have got a response, and this response that is res.data, that is fine. Inside this we have a body, that's what we have added from the backend. So body is our part, and this is what we have sent from the front end. So that is the payload, and we have IDs, and we have this one ID, right? So we are going to have an array. We are going to deal with an array, right? So let's go and write the controller, change the things in the controller according to that. So we're going to say const, we are going to get the payload, or not the payload, just go request dot, always we are going to have payload, right, in every case. So you can say request.body or payload, and over here we're going to have IDs, right? And we'll say for let I equal to 0, I less than IDs dot length, that's an array, I plus plus, right? And here we are going to use a function like const, and we'll say delete category, and here we'll use an await, and this is going to be an asynchronous function, right? We're going to use await, and here we can say category dot find one and delete, right? So here we're going to delete it. So this only required the condition underscore ID, and here we're going to say IDs index I and dot underscore ID, right? So this is an array. We first selected the object, and there we have property underscore ID. Once it match, then we're ready to delete it, right? We'll also create an empty array. So we'll say deleted categories, so we can find like it worked or not, we can check. So it is going to be an array deleted categories. Let's copy. Once it got completed, let's push, right? We'll say push and delete category, right? And here once done, if we'll say deleted categories dot length, just to check how many categories got deleted, how many we have sent. So equals to, we'll say IDs dot length, just to verify it. Okay, once it's verified, we'll go and send the response. We'll say res dot status 200.json, and we're going to say a message that is categories removed. Okay, categories removed permanently. Oh, that is fine. Remove permanent, and else we'll say res dot status 400.json, and here we're going to say message and say something went wrong. Okay, that means if it is not same, it means something got missed, right? Okay, so and also like one thing I'm always missing, because at most of the time I do things after finishing the work, right? So always whenever we are using await, we need to add try catch, right? So we can handle the errors. So right now I'm avoiding try and catch, but sooner and later we'll add that, so don't worry about that. and here we have delete categories. Okay, so categories removed, and let's go check this function out, and let's reload the application. And here say cat1 delete. Let's clear the console. This warning is from the React itself. We have enabled a restrict mode because you can check in the app.js. So we'll say cat1 we are trying to delete. Yes, and we got nothing. And why is that? So this, yeah, we made a request. Preview headers, you can check the headers, you can check the request payload. So there we have payload, and here we have IDs, right? Payload IDs, find requested body or payload, and we extracted the IDs, and here we have an array underscore ID. So what we missed? Save this, check the not this one, and you can see something over here. So find one and update, and find one and okay man, we have used a wrong function actually. So it is not find one and update, it is find one and delete, right? Because if you are using find one and update, then we have to pass some additional parameters like what do you want to update. Okay, so that was a mistake. Let's go and reload your application. But that is fine, that was a backend mistake. So here, and we'll say check, we'll delete. This is what we are trying to delete, and we'll say yes, and this is a pending request again. This time let's check what mistake. This time it is delete categories is not defined. Delete categories is not defined. Why is that? So where is the delete? Okay, that is deleted categories, and again it's let's copy this name. That's a spelling mistake. Deleted categories, save. That is actually deleted. If you reload the application, and you can see this is no more cat1 available. So don't mess with the existing categories, please don't mess with it, otherwise you are going to lose everything, right? So let's add new categories if you want to test things, right? cat1 to cat1, and let's save changes, and let's reload the application. Okay, that was a mistake. What was that? The why it isn't added. Okay, we'll say cat1, we'll say save changes, create. Okay, hopefully it is JWT expired. So let's sign out from the application, and we have to soon fix this problem, right? And we'll say we'll fix it, don't worry. akshay@webscript.info, right? Next we're going to say what we're going to say, password, submit, reload the application just to get the fresh token, and let's okay, and let's go to the category section, and let's add, and we'll say cat1, we'll say okay, that is a parent category, save changes, and you see the cat1 is got added. Let's add the children also. So sub cat1, the parent is going to be cat1, save, and this worked. Oh, why? Again there is a mistake. Okay, the whenever you're getting this error, you can read it. So we have got a database error actually. It's a key pattern slug 1. So when I'm trying to add cat sub 1, that slug is already that cat sub is already exist in our database, right? We have deleted parent, that's why we cannot see the sub cat1. If you check the mongodb.com, you'll see there will be lots of useless categories like without the parents, because because once we deleted the categories, then it is going to be like we cannot recreate it. So to solve that problem, we have to change the slug, right? Because the slug is unique. So for that, what we can do, let's go to the controller, and here where is the controller? So here we have category.js, that's export controller, and here we are creating the category. So first we need to import an library that has short ID. So we'll say short short id, that's it. Short id equals to require short id, so it will help to create the dynamic links. Okay, so short id and okay, where's the slug? No, not this one. Add categories. So when you are adding the slugify, then it's going to slugify. Let's use the string literals. You can also put a hyphen symbol over here, and you can say the short. You can use again a dollar. Say short id dot generate. Okay, that's it. Short id generate. Okay, so this was the problem with the adding part, right? So slugify request or body or name short id generate. Let's save this, and now let's go and check this. Okay, let's reload the application, and cat1 is there, right? Now let's add cat sub2. So I'll say cat sub cat 1. Okay, take the category as parent, and let's save changes, and you can see the sub cat 1 is already added. So you can go and edit it, right? So edit, and here we have cat 1. Also we have cat 1, right? So here you can say cat 1 2 3, and let's save changes, and it got changed, right? So you can see the changes available here. We can create lots of constants just to make sure, because it is taking little milliseconds to update it, right? Because it's a call from the backend, so it will take a little bit of time. For that we have to create constants, and we have to show some spinner, loader, whatever it is, just to make sure user needs to be await here, right? So reload the application, it is working, and you can delete the items, right? So go and check. So 2 items we are trying to delete. Let's delete, and cat1 sub cat1 needs to be deleted. Okay, we'll say yes, and okay, we have got delete request, and it got categories removed. That's the message you can see over here. Let's reload the application, and you can see the cat1 is removed, right? And the same thing we're going to do what we have done with the update categories. So we're going to return something. We're going to return a true false boolean, and then we can say yeah, it worked. So we'll say what is the response actually. So it's a 200 kind of response. So where is that? So first let's go and categories controller. Oh, not over here. Where is our files? So admin application, and find the, so let's go to the admin application, source, and containers, category, index.js, right? And let's put because dispatch returns a promise, so we can use then, and from there we're going to return true, so we can access over here. We'll say result, and over here we'll check if result is true, it means everything worked well. And if it's true, we'll say we'll dispatch another action, dispatch get all category, right? So get all category, right? And you can just be sure it is get all category. Yeah, cool. So let's go and let's reload the application. Hopefully it is already reloaded, and okay, that's, I forgot to add something in the action. So we'll check over here if res dot status equals to, so what is the status? I don't remember. Let me check. I guess it is 200. Backend and source and controller and category. So that is 200, right? So it should be 201 or something. I will find out what is the status for update or delete, right? So we'll say over here 201 for now, 201. If res status 201, we're simply going to return true, and in else case we're going to return false, right? And let's don't console it. Okay, and sure, we'll add the constants also, but just check it's working or not. Okay, so let's go and check it out. So let's first add the category. Okay, we'll add cat1, save changes, and you can see the cat1 is added. Now let's add another categories, sub cat1, and the parent is going to be cat1, right? We'll save changes, and you can see the cat sub cat1 got added. Now let's delete this, delete, and you can say yes, and it got deleted, and this should be disabled. This should go away, right? So for that, let's go to the controller, and we also need to add and we also need to make this model false, so it will be hidden, right? So where is our our page? Where is that? Action category index.chase. Okay, where we're trying to delete the categories. Control F, delete categories, right? So here we have delete categories, and here, right? So delete categories, and we'll say over here set delete category model, that is going to be true. Okay, now let's verify it again. We'll say cat1, save changes. Now let's add a children, so we'll add a children. Add, we'll say sub cat1, and let's choose the cat1. Let's save the changes, and you can see the cat sub cat1 are added. Now let's delete this. It will delete only the cat1, right? So let's check this out. It will delete now both. So cat1 sub cat1, let's delete yes, and again it didn't work. It should go away. Okay, where is the problem? Get categories, delete categories, action we're dispatching, set delete. Oh sorry, it should be false, man. Okay, that is false, right? So it is going to work, don't worry. That's it. So this is done, guys, for this video, and hopefully you're watching it, you are enjoying this series. And if you have any thoughts, any suggestion, just put your opinions in the comment section. Let me know. You can also create posts in my website, webscript.info. Anything if you want, or for the future videos or any kind of request, you can put over there. So guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Bye bye.